and more tomatoes. The Scotch bonnets are starting to turn yellow. Yay. Gourds. And more gourds. And more gourds. Beans are finally flowering. Beans are coming soon. So every year I try a new plant. So this is called the Hot Armageddon pepper. Very excited to see how these turn out. So, Hot Armageddon. Cayenne peppers are starting to change color. Time to pick some jalapenos. All these jalapenos came off of one plant, and there's still more. And it's flowering. Yay! Harvest time. We picked some potatoes today. That was fun. Always a big surprise. The plants really didn't do good this year. They never even went to flower stage. We had so much heat and then so much rain. I just said, it's time. So, not a big harvest, but hey, every little bit counts. I always add vinegar to my water when I'm cleaning my vegetables. Help kills the bugs and, keeps the whole process nice and clean for canning. All these jalapenos came off of one plant. What a blessing. And still more to come. Great little harvest today. Now to preserve it up. Beets. We grew these together in our sunroom, and then we brought them outside and put them in the garden. And I picked 5 of them today, and I'm probably going to get 1 jar. But hey, 1 jar of beets is something that all adds up. Remember that every bit counts challenge with Jessica over at Three Rivers Homestead. Every little bit counts. I must be honest, people who don't even like beets love my beet recipe. So I couldn't even tell you what book I got this out of. My mother actually gave me this recipe years ago, and I'm sure it came from like the Ball Canning book or something like that. So in this recipe, you can use 3 to 6 cloves, depending on the size. Today I use 6. I'm using a tablespoon of sugar, a pinch of cinnamon, and a teaspoon of salt. 2 cups of white vinegar and 2 cups of water. You can use apple cider vinegar. Just make sure whichever vinegar you're using is at least 5% acidity. Go ahead and just mix it all together, and we're going to bring this up to a boil and then drop it down to a simmer for about 5 minutes. And then we're going to add the beets. Once your brine comes up to a boil, lower it right down to a simmer. We don't want to evaporate all that wonderful vinegar. I added the beets. I'm only going to do this for 5 minutes, and then we're going to put it into our jar and put it in a water bath canner. For my area is 30 minutes. So I'm not really cooking them right now. I'm going to cook them in the canner. We don't want them to be mushy. I leave a 1/2 inch headspace, and check out that color. Whew. Getting ready to go in the canner for 30 minutes. I have some beet brine left over for the next batch of beets. Here's another little tip. These little tops that come on Parmesan cheese containers, reuse them for things that you're putting in the refrigerator for later. It's great for the top of sugar containers, salt containers, any of your spices. Works out pretty well. Handy dandy. I'm also making a quick jar of pickles. And again, I'm going to have brine left over, so I'll just put it into the refrigerator for later in the week. 2 cups of water, 2 cups of vinegar, a tablespoon of sugar, and a teaspoon of salt. Bring that up to a simmer. To the jar, I like to add 1 clove of garlic, 1 teaspoon of mustard seed, and 1 teaspoon of dill. Going in the canner. Well, there we go. 1 jar of beets, 1 jar of pickles. Just walked out here and yeah. All the way his hair. And what do we got here? Deer hide. Okay then. The fox den is only about 20 feet from here, and it looks like they've been collecting some bones, eating cartilage, etc., etc. Still picking blackberries. And 1 snail. I'm going to put him outside. Another 16 cups of blackberries going into the freezer. Every bit counts challenge. Every bit counts. Putting away a little bit for later every single day. Now I'm going to place them on a cookie sheet and pop them in the freezer. I'm flash freezing them and then I'll bag them up. We were gifted peaches. Yay! Peach jam up next.
Hi everyone! Thank you for joining us here at P&Js Homestead Adventure. Don't forget to use that hashtag EveryBitCountsChallenge to follow along with Jessica at Three Rivers Homestead and all the other great channels that are harvesting and preserving this month here in August. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.